Hey everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie, I'm your host, and I'm so happy to be here. I hope that you guys are having a lovely day. If you are listening live, it is the 28th of November, holy moly, at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I want to also welcome you to the show. Want to let you know that we're over in the chat room, and you can find that by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number 2 radio. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. It is a private group, so you'll need to ask for entry, and Christy will gladly let you in the room. Now, you'll find at the top of the page my banner that says you are listening to the Katie Weaver Show. That is the place to put a comment, a question. That's where I'm interacting. That's where I'll see it. You will also discover in the chat room that I am live streaming this event to the Facebook chat, and you can find that there if you'd rather watch, or you can find it over on my YouTube channel, The Domestic Mystic, later on. So lots of ways to connect, but I am seeing you guys here in the chat room. I want to welcome you. Want to let you guys know that we are be doing some readings today. I have built plenty of time in today for some readings, some energy work, whatever it is you guys need. So if we need some animal communication, you need some help with your kids, we need to just clean up your energy body, you just need a plain old-fashioned psychic reading, whatever that is for you, let me know here in the chat room, and I definitely will do my best to get to you. So that's what's going on. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Things. Did you guys shop? Did you Black Friday shop? I have to know. Did you? You know I did. I do every year. Christy and I go. Sometimes Kara goes. Rhonda never goes because she's not an early AM kind of girl. Scott never goes because he doesn't do early mornings. But my girls went this year. Christy and I went. We're not the kind of people that'll go at like 4 a.m. and wait in a line. We usually go out around 6 or 7 and shop for a couple of hours, have breakfast, go home, call it good. So it's not like a shop till you drop kind of situation, hopefully. But I think it's fun to go out. There is a lot of merriment usually, hopefully you can avoid the nastiness, but there's a lot of fun. People having fun, having bonding moments, dreaming about what they want to do for other people. I don't know. I think there's some joy to it. I know there's a terrific amount of chaos with it too. But for some reason I like that. So, excuse me. So we did shop. It was actually a really nice morning, but our stores were not crowded. It was weird. We hardly waited in line to shop or to pay or anything. It was crazy. We hardly waited to get in for breakfast. It was just not that busy. So I know some stores were doing a lot of things like overnight, and I think a lot of online shopping has affected that. But I thought that was kind of an interesting factoid that it wasn't busy. Interesting. And the stores that we went into for specific things that we wanted, remember back in the day, you'd go in for the one thing you wanted from the ad and they would have gotten like 2 of them. Not at all. We got everything we wanted, and there were stacks of those things. I don't know what it says about our consumerism and need to constantly devour more. I don't know. But it was just weird, I think, that there was just not very much going on. But at any rate, I guess that was nice for us because it wasn't too wild, and there were a couple of specific things I needed, and I got them. But anyway, I cannot believe it, but I am actually 98% done with my Christmas shopping. Not quite done with the things I'm making, but I'm getting close to that too. But I'm way ahead of the game this year, which is so odd for me. So Scott demanded a list. He said he has to know, he wanted to know exactly what we've bought the kids, because I've just been kind of keeping a running commentary for him. But he knows that this is what I do. If I'm done early, I'll probably just keep shopping because I still want to give them more, or I get worried that one person got more than another or blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I made him a list so that hopefully he can keep me on track. Probably not going to happen. We'll see. But anyway, kind of fun. It's weird to be done early. I'm really happy that I am because there's so much less stress than I have felt in years past. Now the big stress at my house is to figure out how in the hell we're going to put up a Christmas tree with these little piggies around. I have a snoring Santa. I don't know if you guys have ever seen one. They're about the size, a little bigger than a shoebox, and no, probably twice the size of a shoebox really. But it's a Santa in his bed, and he's got a little patchwork quilt pulled up over him, and he's snoring. You plug him in and he snores, and they're really cute, and I love that. And so I have my little snoring Santa out on my hearth, and the pigs won't leave Santa alone. In fact, I'm quite sure that Santa's not coming to see Ziggy at all because he tore Santa's glasses off his face and broke them in half. And Scott tried to save his bacon by fixing them and putting them back on Santa before I found out. And alas, they couldn't be fixed. So I don't know what Zig is thinking, but they are vandalizing Santa Claus. I don't know how to put up a Christmas tree with them. I'm afraid that it's going to be 10 times worse than cats. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I have these pens that like we take camping for the dogs to hang out and stuff like that. I'm thinking I'm going to actually put the Christmas tree inside of a pen to keep it safe. I think it's the only way to even have one. But then we could put the presents in there too, and they wouldn't get also vandalized by the pigs. So anyway, my creative wheels are turning, but it's going to be something different around our house this year because these piggies are very inquisitive. They get bored, they look for ways to have fun, and we have snow again. We had a pretty good snowstorm in the night, and they woke up not very impressed with going outside to play, so Sleeping Santa it is. So that's the drama at my house. Other than that, everyone is completely fine. I am positive these are first world problems. Piggy mama problems, for sure. Okay. I'm seeing lots of you guys pop up in the chat room. Again, I want to let you know I am leaving lots of room today for readings. So if there's anything I can do for you, throw it up in the chat room. I would love to help you out. Okay, well, should we move on with some of our regular stuff? I want to thank you guys all for indulging me last week in our Warm Fuzzies show. I thought that was a lot of fun. You guys ran with it. You did beautiful things. I thought it was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll probably do that again at a later date. Maybe when, let's not predict that. Maybe if we get into a place in the world where people are feeling quite hurt and down, maybe we'll do Warm Fuzzies again. But I'm glad to see you all here today. Okay, let's take a look at Luminous. So Luminous, of course, is the magazine that I publish early in the week, and it's a compilation of work between myself and several of my colleagues over at 12Listen, and lots of beautiful things happening in Luminous. I put a link in the chat room for it already, but if you'd like to just go check it out, head over to katie-weaver.com, click on Katie's magazine, and you can click right onto the cover from there. So let's take a look. So we changed the cover. We're all done with Abundantia, but again, one last big thank you to Miss Velvedon for allowing us to use her card, her Abundantia card for for November. The month of Thanksgiving. We really appreciated that. I loved it. So we've moved on now to a little more wintry scene. This looks pretty normal to my neck of the woods, quite frankly. I love this cover. We'll probably keep it for a few weeks here. Okay. I was talking a little bit about creativity. Creativity for me is off the charts right now. And that's not always the case. That's not always the thing for me. It goes in ebbs and flows. I don't know about you guys. You know, maybe for other people it's different. I've tried really hard to fight this because in my line of work and because I love to write and create, it's annoying when it's not in the flow. And so I've fought it. I have tried to slay the beast. I have tried a million things. And what I really have finally had to just come to the conclusion of is that sometimes that creative energy is much stronger in me than others. It doesn't mean I can't put out a decent memoir or blog post. It doesn't mean I can't redesign something in my bedroom or whatever I'm thinking about. but it might mean that it doesn't come to me as easily. And I've had to learn how to be okay with that. And to find a lot of joy in the times when I am in the flow and I can see things the way I'd like to see them, and I can put things together the way I want to put them together. And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. I used to think it was such a bad thing, an annoying thing, but ultimately it's just part of my spirit. It's part of who I am, and that's okay. It's okay. I also have had to learn that creativity for me is a very different thing than it is for other people, and that's how it's supposed to be. When I was a kid in church, the young women had all kinds of activities, and the creative ones were pretty stifling. You know, the leaders would bring some kind of a craft that they had made and then lay out all the stuff, and we were supposed to recreate it and make that thing. And I sucked at that. I couldn't ever make the beautiful things that they were making. The toll painting was the worst. They'd bring little, little ceramic figures of some sort, or villages or whatever. And then we were supposed to do something beautiful with those. And I could not. And girls around me would be creating these beautiful things, and I'd be so jealous and also just feel bad about myself. And because of that, I had myself convinced that I really was not a creative person. Even though I wrote all the way through high school, I was a musician. I did a lot of creative things, but they weren't creative in the box that I learned creativity in. And so I believed for a very long time that I wasn't a creative person. I still say that sometimes about myself, and then have to back it up and go, why would you say that? That's not true. But it's a core belief, right? And so it's something that I have to challenge in myself every once in a while. I think that creativity for many of us has taken that path. And I bring it up and talk about it with you guys because I think that many of you may have experienced similar things. And I want to encourage you this winter to challenge those core beliefs, to challenge those, possible, whacks to your self-esteem, to challenge those ideas about yourself and allow yourself to find and recognize the ways that you are a deeply creative person, because I know you are. I just also know that the world may have made you think you're not. You don't have to be Michelangelo. You don't have to be J.K. Rowling, right? You don't have to be lots of things to be a creative person. So if you need help with it, let's talk about it. One of the things that I think is useful sometimes is to just go wander around a craft store or an art store until something catches your eye and do something with it. Sometimes I think it's useful to just look at what you've already done in your world and think about things you'd like to do. Now, I will admit sometimes I peruse Pinterest looking for an idea, and sometimes I see things that definitely are out of my skill set, and sometimes I see things that aren't, or things that I want to learn how to do. But what I know is this: with the advent of the internet, there is nothing you can't decide to learn. If you want to learn how to blow glass, you can find someone that will teach you. If you want to learn how to paint well, you can take a class. Hell, you can take online tutorials. If you want to expand your cooking repertoire, you can do that 1,000,000 times over. YouTube University, I think, is incredible because people are so amazing in the way they share what they know and share their knowledge and help teach and learn. If it's something in the spiritual, metaphysical realm, we have a lot of peeps around here who have a lot of knowledge that they are sharing through 1-2 Academy, through radio shows, through time-based services. But this is what I know for sure. You are a creative person. She's in there somewhere, or he's in there somewhere. Let's find a way to draw them out. And let's have some fun with that this winter, right? Let's not stagnate. I'm so excited for the winter solstice, I can hardly stand it. And not for rest, though the winter solstice brings us that usually. It's more for doing, more for the possibilities of the winter solstice this year. I haven't quite read it, the winter solstice energy yet, but that's what's bubbling up for me. And I think it's pretty awesome. I'm excited. Okay, I called this the You Do You edition because I've been thinking a lot about all of the judgments that the world puts on us. If you do, you're damned. If you don't, you're probably damned too. There's this song that my daughters have played for me before. It's a country song. And I wish I knew who sang it. I'll figure it out. But she says, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you don't go to church, you're a whore. If you kiss on the first date, if you don't kiss on the first date, then you're a prude. If you spend too much money, then you're wasteful. If you don't spend enough money, you're a tight ass. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. That idea that you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. It's true. And yet, you don't have to accept that, right? You can decide that what other people think of you is their issue, not yours, and move forward in your own joy. It takes a fair amount sometimes of a head game, I think, until you get good at it. And then sometimes, I know Scott thinks I should care a little more. Poor Scott. But you know what? I usually don't, because I've learned that over time, that what other people think of me, that's up to them to worry about, not me. It doesn't necessarily condone bad behavior, because I want to choose to be who I want to be. I want to choose to be the person that I am comfortable with. But it does mean that maybe I am willing to say something I would have not said in the past. Maybe I am willing to reach out to somebody I wouldn't have been willing to reach out to. Maybe I am willing to go to Walmart with my hair on top of my head. Whatever it is, right? But we are in a world right now of impossible standards. Not just for women, but for men too. And I think that we have to always be diligent in pushing back and getting comfortable with who we are and deciding that we don't care what other people think. I think it's one of the greatest examples we can set for our kids. Okay, moving on. The memoir I wrote this week was about growing up in the Teton Mountains. I put a really cool picture up there of the Grand Tetons. I was raised in a place where the snow was overwhelming. And we don't get it so much anymore, but a cousin of mine got me thinking this week about a lot of fun memories with so much snow. When I was a kid, the snow would be over our swing set. You'd go outside to play, and of course, there was a tremendous amount of shoveling that went on, and we lived on a farm, so there was a lot of plowing with the tractor too, but there would be giant mountains of snow that had been stacked up by plows, by the tractor. But when you'd walk out the front door, it was like walking out a tunnel. There'd be snow clear up to, the house. I can remember my dad going out and shoveling snow out from around the windows so that it wouldn't pack up against the windows and break them. I mean, it was that's how deep our snow got when I was a kid. And it was an amazing experience. I still really miss that. I'm sure I don't miss driving in it. I was a kid, so I didn't have that experience, though my mom did, and she hated it a lot. But times have changed a lot. We just don't get that much snow anymore. There or where I live now, not even close. But the idea of driving through, roadways that have 8 or 9 feet of snow packed up on both sides of them, and you're driving through a slice of that, through a tunnel of that, that's where I was born. That's how I lived when I was little, and I just think there's a lot of magic in it. So anyway, that's a story that I shared in my memoirs this week. My December reading special is a 20-minute time-based session. You guys know I'm a big fan of the time-based sessions. I like the 20-minuters too, because I love a 15-minute TBS, but a lot of times by the end of the 15-minute, people are going, oh my goodness, how's time gone this fast? So the 20-minute is just a little bit more money, but it buys you 5 more minutes of time so that we can cover a little bit more ground. So I put a link in the chat room, but you can find that over at when2listen.com under Katie Weaver. So that's an easy way to connect. Okay, our crystal guidance this week, of course, comes from Christy. It is Rainbow Obsidian. Rainbow obsidian protects the aura, creates a rainbow bubble around the energy body. Really protective stone, but isn't quite as heavy as darker stones like obsidian and black tourmaline. I think rainbow obsidian is a really good grounding stone for children, especially like light body children, you know, little indigos and rainbow kids that can't really have their feet nailed to the floor. Rainbow obsidian's a good choice for them. Christy pulls us a card every week from her Energy Oracle deck. This week she pulled the Black Panther. Black Panther, the primary message is protection, deep emotions, spiritual development, and truth-seeking. The challenge, if you might need a little more Black Panther in your life, is fear, emotional avoidance, arrogance. The crystal is hypersethine. And the meditation. Dear Black Panther, please protect me and guide me as I go deep in myself to find my truth. Love that. So, is it time for you to connect with the energy of the Black Panther? You decide. All right. Kai's Kaleidoscope this week is a great article about the art of holiday shopping. Talking about a few good tips for shopping. I really have had to read Kai's article a couple of times and consider it. Scott's probably going to go ahead and tattoo it on me somewhere because I told you my issues with gift giving. But anyway, just want to give it all away, but that's okay, I think. Anyway, she has a great idea about, great ideas about how to gift. You know, I have discovered through my lifetime that not everybody is very good at gift giving. They don't really know how. They don't know how to really connect with someone to figure out what it is that would be beneficial for them. Perhaps they are embarrassed by giving gifts or feel awkward about it. I've discovered that too. So I love that she put this article and these lists together because I think it helps people, especially who are awkward gift givers, to maybe get some ideas. Okay, the tip of the week this week is my essential oil blend for pain. It's getting cold out there. Any of you who have some arthritis-y stuff going on, you're probably noticing. So, essential oil blend for pain. You combine 10 drops each of lemongrass, marjoram, and frankincense, essential oils in a 5 ml roller bottle. Top it off with liquid coconut oil and rub it on aches and pains. This is my favorite pain blend. I use it for myself. I use it on my kids. And it's one of those that I keep stocked in their sports bags, their football bags, their softball bags. And it's one that I sold a lot of in my store over the years because it's a great one. So again, really it's just equal parts of lemongrass, marjoram, and frankincense. And then top that off with coconut oil. What you're going to have, like if you had a roller bottle that was, you know, say this tall, you know, a few inches tall, you're going to have about a third of that in essential oils or even a fourth. It's not a lot. And the rest of that is a carrier oil. It doesn't take that much. And some oils can be pretty irritating to the skin. So it's a good rule of thumb to think about 1/3 to 1/4 dilution is usually just fine. Also because oils, of course, are expensive. So really, don't use more than you need to. That just wastes them, right? All right. A couple more things I wanted to call your attention to. Brittany wrote us a great article in Brittany's Divinity this week about slowing down. Brittany, by the way, I think you guys already know this, but I'll make sure that you do, but she's our new producer here at 1-2 Radio. She's been taking over Thursday nights and doing a lovely job with them. So it's really fun to have her on board. Alrighty, Dr. Elisa this week, her article, the header is, "We all need time to rest, integrate, and cleanse ourselves. This time is never wasted or useless." I love that she said that. That's really ringed true in my head all weekend. This time is never wasted or useless because I'm very impatient with the rest. I don't want to rest. I want to do a million things. And my body says no and shuts me down. And then I'm annoyed. And I've been really letting those words sink in for me about this time is never wasted or useless, right? replenishing your mind, your body, your spirit, taking care of yourself. If you can't do that, what else are you going to do? She's right. I really appreciated those words, and I hope that especially over the holiday season here that we can all take them to heart and take care of ourselves and know when to say when. Beautiful postcard from Melissa Caprio called There's Beauty in the Breakdown. It's a leaf breaking down, and I thought it was awesome. I love fall for this, and I'm with you, Melissa, in that there's a lot to contemplate in that, in many aspects and avenues of life, I think. So that is Luminous this week. I hope that you guys find some useful articles, some things that give you a little extra inspiration, excuse me, and some inspiration moving forward into a busy season and sometimes a stressful, sad, frustrating season. Let's just not let it be that this year, right? Okay, maybe it will be here and there, and we'll work through it, right? That's where it's at. Okay, I'm going to take a quick jump here into the chat room. Okay. All right, seeing lots of good questions coming up here. That's awesome. All right, because again, I do have time set aside today for some readings. So I see some stuff, some requests here, so that's great. Let's go ahead and do a group reading from my deck. So this is the Ground, Bless, Protect, and Move deck. This is my deck for spiritual self-care. I published this with my sisters last year. You can find more about it over at katie-weaver.com. But let's usually pull cards before the show, but I didn't get it done. So you'll have to bear with me. This is a 5-part reading, of course. And so we'll pull cards to ground, to bless, to protect, to move, and then there's always the boost card as well, just to give us one more great idea for something we can do for ourselves. Alrighty, cards are pulled. Alright, the ground card is the forest. Might be getting a little tougher if you guys are getting snowy, but find a way this week to connect with a grouping of trees. Just a grouping. You don't really have to go clear to the forest unless you want to. Hopefully you have a forest right in your own backyard, but if you don't, a grouping of trees. The community energy of trees and the grounding energy of trees is fabulous for grounding. It also makes you slow down for a minute. It makes you breathe. It makes you bring your body, your mind, body, and your spirit back into balance, even if it's just for a minute. So forest, that's the ground card this week. The bless card this week is sacral chakra, which is fun because, of course, we're talking about today a little bit about creativity. And actually the singing bowl work that I had chosen for us today was also about the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra, right below your belly button, normally orange or orangish. This is your center of joy, of sexuality, and of creativity. And keeping the sacral in balance is really important. And that's one that I see shut down in a lot of people, especially people who have been told by others that they weren't good, that they weren't creative, that they weren't good in some other way. The way other people see you reflects sometimes in your sacral. It can be a real challenge. So we'll do some work today to bring the sacral open and balance it. Okay, the protect card is bulletproof glass. So the bulletproof glass card basically indicates that you build a wall of bulletproof glass between you and another person or situation. Sometimes, especially all of you empaths who just kind of get overwhelmed with what you're feeling, sometimes you can't flee, you know? Maybe this is your office mate or somebody else who sits near you at work. Maybe this is a family member. Maybe this is a situation that you can't get too far from. Build up your bulletproof glass so that you can stay safe on your side and not have to be overwhelmed by the energy of that person or situation. You can decide exactly what it looks like. It's all about intention. So you're holding the intention that your glass is keeping you safe, keeping you away from their daggers, right? You guys all know them. People that you have to spend some time around who throw one dart after another, and this is what your glass is for. Okay, the move card is Tai Chi. Now, of course, a move card in a spiritual self-care deck is a suggestion. Some of you do Tai Chi, probably plenty of you don't. It doesn't mean you have to run out and pick up a new practice unless you choose to. The move card is a reminder to move your body in some way. If you move yourself gently, and that's it, you help to release stuck energy in your body. You help to relieve yourself of tension, and you help to boost some happy hormones in your brain. And that's what it's all about. Now, if you do a little Tai Chi, or if you're interested in learning a little Tai Chi, just a few easy moves can really help raise your vibration, raise your, your frequency, and just help you to move a little freer. But you decide what's right for you as far as movement. Okay. Then the boost card is Get Social. I'm laughing because I'm pretty sure I've pulled this for about 3 weeks in a row. Big message here. There are other boost cards, I promise. All right. This is a good time to reach out for some support. Coffee with friends or a good chat on the phone would be good for you. Get social. Do not suffer in silence, and try not to become a hermit. Sometimes it's tempting. I know. I am bad for it. I am a Cancer after all. I have no problem climbing back in my shell sometimes. However, it seems like right now, Spirit just keeps asking us over and over and over again to engage in some meaningful connections with each other. So find a way to do that if you can, because it seems like it's just important moving forward that we continue to form community, and we continue to form meaningful community that helps us to be able to accomplish our goals and to help raise the vibration on the planet. We need more of it. We always need more of it. Okay. Let's do our singing bowl work. This is my big oldest bowl. I love this bowl. And this is the sacral bowl. So this is in the note of D, which resonates with the sacral. And this is one that we use to help release and unlock that sacral energy. So I'm going to play the bowl. The first order of business for us, our first intention, is to allow the vibration of the singing bowl to resonate deep within the sacral, completely releasing anything that you're carrying that no longer serves you. Just allowing it to just clear that sacral out. Let's focus today on clearing away old patterns, old judgments, other people's judgments, energy from others that we don't want to carry any longer, and anything else that could be blocking your path to creativity and to experiencing joy. So we'll start there. So close your eyes, relax with me. Okay, good. And now changing gears. And now in playing the bowl, asking you to go ahead and hold the intention that will allow the vibration of the singing bowl to raise our frequency, to turn up our wattage, to bring this chakra into balance and put it in a higher frequency than we've ever experienced before. We're lighting a fire. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty. So let's roll with that. Let's continue to let that sacral energy take us over. Let's let that fire start burning. And you start thinking about what creativity looks like for you and what joy looks like for you. Okay, let's jump in the chat room here. Pamela said, would love a little boost if you can. Waiting on test results by this Friday. If everything comes out okay, I can finally book my surgery to get a new hip. Pamela, what a relief. Yes, let's give you a little boost here. Yeah, I can feel that worry in your belly. I know you've taken so many steps to get here. I feel like your good news is coming, sister. I do. If it isn't by the end of this week, it's coming soon. There may be one more step in this process for you, but you're getting there in a big hurry. And I know that you are so ready for that hip. Okay, so I'm just clearing. Your aura was a little bit heavy. I think just that worry settling and the frustration that you've been through, I know, in this whole process of getting this all put together. But there's a lot of light around you. There was already a lot of light around you and a lot of angels around you. Pamela, it's going to be okay. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Keep us posted. You know we want to support you as much as we can. Okay. Okay. Oh, Elizabeth said, I just commented on someone's post who's struggling to get through to their child who loves reading and loves reading and math and loves to write. Yeah. What if your kids don't love reading and math and love to write? Right? Then we have to get more creative in figuring out what do we do with these kids. Oh my gosh. All right, Steven says, hello, Katie and everyone in 1-2 land. If you have time, can you look over my energy body? Still feeling up and down after a breakup over the end of the end of summer, as well as a few pains in right hip and right ankle. Steven, let's take a look. Okay, I'm going to be all cliche about it. I didn't want to say this because, well, I wanted to make sure I was right before I just said something that sounds cliche. But you're right. You're thinking that the pains in the hip and the ankle have to do with the breakup and perhaps your resistance or some part of you that's struggling to move forward. And you're right about that. So we're going to clear it. We're going to get rid of that resistance. I think there's a much bigger part of you that is ready to move forward. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're dating again, though if that's right for you, then do it. But it just means that you're ready to start looking at life with a fresh set of eyes. So I'm going to do a little clearing for you first just to remove the residual energy. I do not feel like there's still cords between you and the ex. I think that those have all really been dealt with. I don't see that. This is just within you. So I'm going to clear your aura first because, again, there's some heaviness there. But I think it's just, they're saying it just sucks because you had looked forward. You know, you had plans moving forward, at least some daydreams moving forward about what things were going to look like, what they were going to be like with this person. And every season that's starting to pass, every holiday that passes, and she's not in your life or they're not in your life and the situation isn't in your world anymore, it sucks. And so I think that, you know, you're kind of moving through that process. All right. So anyway, that's why we needed to clear away some of that additional debris so that you can start seeing life through new possibilities, through a fresh set of eyes, so that you can move forward. All right, so I'm going to go to that foot and hip. Gosh, I sure feel it in your right hip. Your right foot. I'm going to open up your chakra, your soul chakra in your foot a little bit better. It was a little bit blocked actually, which that affects the way you ground to the earth, and it can just add to you feeling a little bit wonky. All right. Okay. That feels better. I feel like the winter solstice is going to be paramount for you in finding your way forward. I feel like through the winter solstice months, you're really going to not have a dark night of the soul at all, but have a real awakening about where you want to see your life moving forward. I suspect that you're going to make some plans to make a few changes to, I would not be surprised to see you figure out a way to take a big trip to go to a place that you've been wanting to go forever, somewhere that's called to your soul for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see you take some kind of a class or make a plan to learn a new skill. This all has to do with things you have wanted to do for a long time, and you're finding the ways to make them happen. So, Stephen, I'm excited to hear about that. Keep us posted. I am excited to see where you go with this. This is good. All right. Terry said, if you compare yourself with others, you will become vain and better because there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. One of my favorite parts of the Desiderata. It's true. I'll give you that. All right. All right. Maureen said, if you have time, will the outcome of the meeting with the University Conducts Committee be a successful outcome for our daughter Megan? Yes, it will. There are going to be parts about their decision or the things that they decide to do that she's not really privy to. So unfortunately, it's going to require a little bit of patience for her because, which sucks because she's done nothing but be patient. But I feel like because of it being school and because of it being, there's some confidentiality wrapped up in it, she's not going to know exactly what they decide to do. I also feel like they may put her off initially and basically saying that they have to continue their investigation, blah, 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 right? So don't let her, let's not let her get too discouraged if she doesn't hear exactly what she needs to hear in that initial meeting. The ball is rolling. Things are happening. She's going to see some changes happen because of her courage, her willingness to speak up, and her willingness to stand up for herself. So, Maureen, you raised a warrior kid, and she's learned some huge lessons this semester in being a warrior. This is shaping who she's going to be in the way she fights for what she believes is right, and the way she fights for the world. And I would have never wanted her to go through such a rough semester, but wow, is she emerging from it with a lot of fire under her. And then that's due in part to you guys being so good to support her, but also to let her make decisions, to let her make phone calls, to let her take the lead. This has been expert parenting. I hope you know that. Masterclass level parenting. Okay, Sheila said, I felt a vibration in my root chakra instead of the sacral. I guess it was needed there. Isn't that funny? That's how it happens sometimes. That energy will move where it's supposed to be. There's a belief in Reiki that energy will go where it's supposed to go. And the analogy that Christy always uses, I think, is a great one. That if you have a road that's full of potholes and you throw a bucket of water on that road, the water will just, by nature, move into the potholes, right? And energy work is very much the same. And I'll include, of course, sound therapy in energy work, that the energy is going to go where it needs to go. And we can direct it if we want to, but we don't necessarily have to. But I think in sound healing, we see that all the time. That, okay, we're saying this is, the note of D, it works the sacral. But if your root has the deficiency that needs the work, that's what's going to get it. That's interesting, huh? Okay, hey, Kevin. And Vero says, oh, Veronica, right. Gotcha. Vero, I'm sorry. She said, love the live video. If you can, would like to know about career change. Thanks and happy holidays. Let's take a look. I feel, okay, so career change is happening. That's without question for me. You are going to go through a career change. It's just interesting to me how it happens, because I feel like you are going to end up working for someone who you have either already worked for in the past or worked with. Maybe not in quite the same capacity, but I feel like there's a contact here through somebody that you have worked with, and it's male, it's a man, that you've been connected to before professionally, that's going to help elevate you to where you want to go. The career change, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know that I think it's a clear-cut career change. It's a job change. I think that you're going to end up finding yourself doing something similar but not the same to what you're doing right now. I feel like that decision will really come down to finding something that just is a really good fit. You cannot be stifled in your job. I kind of love that we're talking about creativity today because you cannot be stifled. You can't have a job where you have no freedom to apply yourself creatively to it. I feel like the position that you get is still in kind of the same world that you've been in, but in a very different capacity of being able to be more creative and of being able to take a big step up on the ladder. So for you right now, let's start thinking about who do you know, who have you worked with? It doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you were deeply close to. Know that. That's not necessarily the case. But I see 4 men actually. One of them that is somebody that you have professional contacts to that elevate you into this position that you're a great fit for. This is a company that's growing super fast and they need, well, you. They need your gifts. So I'm excited, Veronica. I can't wait to hear what happens because I think that you're going to find yourself here in about 4 months in a very different situation with a different income than you've had in the past, better, and just in a place of really loving what you're doing and being a little bit surprised about how it all came to be. So keep us posted. This is good. Okay. All right, Coeli's the same question as Veronica. Interesting. Are we all thinking about changing jobs right now? I'll tell you guys, I see that in patterns. I see it with my clients that will go through periods where a lot of people start getting uncomfortable with their jobs or their careers and need to make a change. Yeah. All right, let's take a look. You know, for you, it's actually a slowing down. Well, okay, not a slowing down. This is not going to be a job that wildly interferes with your home life. I feel like, I even wonder if you'll work from home or have some, at least part-time ability to work from home in some kind of development of product, curriculum, something like that. But I feel like for you, this is really about, it's not about getting clear on what you want, because I know that you're not quite clear on what you want. And when we say that, well, you have to get clear about what you want. Sometimes that completely stops people in their tracks, because if you don't know, you don't know. So I don't want to say that to you. What I want to say to you is start thinking outside the box. Start looking around. Start thinking about what could you do that you could at least do in part at home, or in a sense of not working. I don't see you working 40 hours away from your house. That's what I'm saying. I feel like you are going to find something that you can do at least partly from home, or in a sense that you'll be able to still have a lot of time and energy to put into your family. So that's what comes up mostly for me. I'm excited to see what happens for you too, because I think that creative and dynamic women are really going to be called on a lot in the workforce here in the next 6 months or so, because they're just so needed. I also am hearing that we're going to see in the first part of the year a huge level, kind of unprecedented level of people retiring and leaving the workforce. So as a whole, particularly in the US, that's a prediction that the first quarter or two are going to see an unprecedented amount of people retiring. And with that, new job opportunities coming forward and job restructurings coming forward that make room for people to rise up. And I see so many creative and dynamic women having opportunities that they've not had in the past to really show what they can do. So that's exciting. And I see something a lot in that. You both really triggered that in me. I want you both to know that. And Elizabeth said, well, you know, change jobs is my top priority right now. Yeah, I know. Isn't it wild? I'm excited to see. That's interesting that we're hearing that about retiring. So why are so many people retiring? Okay, they're saying that people are going to start retiring because they'll find a good financial moment to do it, and something about nervousness about moving forward. So people feeling like they should take what they have right now, you know, take what they can get, take the package they have or that's offered to them, that they feel like it'll be the best thing they have coming. So they retire. That doesn't maybe encourage a whole lot of faith in the market. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But it's interesting to think about what happens as the boomers really start retiring. What happens? That makes room for a lot of people to change. And it's not just necessarily new careers again, but it's restructuring the way we've worked in the past. So I'm really interested in this. I'm interested to see what happens moving forward, because I know that a lot of you have been in a place in your jobs for a while where you feel like you're just stuck. You're not necessarily getting what you need. And Sheila said, yes, we are thinking about job change or retiring. Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, you guys, that's going to be a fun one to watch, isn't it? Could you believe it's almost December, which means that it's almost time for us to start thinking about predictions for the new year. And I don't usually do a ton of them, but will be a few things that come up. I was thinking about Anita. Anita always writes a page or more of predictions. Yeah, it's phenomenal stuff that she's doing. So I can't wait to see her predictions come out in the new year. But interesting stuff happening, I think. Yeah. Kevin said, are we Gen X? I get so confused, but I think so. I had read that there's actually a new specification that's somewhere between the millennials and the Gen Xers or something. I think we are Gen X. Yeah, most of us. Yeah. I don't know. We're just light workers, right? just trying to navigate this shit. Is that what Gen Xers are? That's probably true. Oh, Veronica said, thank you, Katie, for the reading. I'm a Pisces and highly creative. Work hard to work on my creativity. Looking into working in the IT field. We'll keep you posted. You could be creative in the IT field. You could. How? In helping to help people, right? In helping help people. In helping to help people to figure out how to do things in a way that makes sense to them. Yeah. Veronica, you've got this down. I'm excited. Okay. Well, we have done what we do. I am going to let you guys in on a little secret that is not a secret, but I want to make sure that we shout it from the rooftops. Tomorrow is a pretty special day, a dang special day. Tomorrow is the 29th of November. Tomorrow is the birthday of one of our favorite Sagittariuses around here. It is Christy's birthday. And so I hope that you guys take a little time to wish her happy birthday. And I'm telling you now so that we can get a little jump on things. Because I'm sure you'll see plenty of that tomorrow too. But yes, tomorrow is Christy's birthday. How exciting. Alrighty, you guys. Here's how we do it. We're going to turn the time over to Elizabeth Lindsay for Angel with an Edge. I want to let you know that you'll find me back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific for the Psychic Sisters. And you'll find me over at 12listen.com for the rest of the day and evening. Thank you all so much for being here. Please take care of yourselves.